Hello everyone. Welcome back to Vinita Online Nursing Classes. How are you all? I hope that you are doing very well. Okay? In the previous class, we have started the topic from the anatomy and the physiology. The topic is the digestive system. Okay, so under the digestive system, yesterday we have seen like overview of the digestive system, means the anatomy of the digestive system and also the digestive system processes, means the functions of the digestive system. So there are the majorly six functions of the digestive system. That is, first one is the ingestion, secretion, mixing and the propulsion, digestion, absorption, and last and the final function of the GI tract digestive system is defecation. Okay, we have seen this, and along with the functions of the digestive system, we also seen that layers of the GI tract, especially there are the four layers of the GI tract. First one is the mucosa, second one is the submucosa, and third one is the muscularis, and fourth one is the serosa. So we have seen in detail regarding the layers and the functions and overview structure of the gastrointestinal tract or digestive system. Okay, if anyone is missed out of yesterday class, today I am going to put that link in the description box. So all the whoever has missed the class, so directly you go to the description box and you can able to find the link of the previous class, so then you can able to hear that class. So if you listen the previous class only, you can able to understand this today's class. Okay, so see here, today we will discuss the continuation of the digestive system. The continuation of the digestive system topic is the today's topic is neural innervation of the gastrointestinal tract. We know that every system of the human body will be having the innervation by the different types of the set of neurons. So here also the gastrointestinal tract will be having or innervated by the like a group of neurons. Let's see what all are the group of neurons will be innervated of gastrointestinal tract. So here the gastrointestinal tract mainly regulated by the two set or two types of the groups of neurons. Okay, so the first set is the intrinsic set of neurons and second one is the extrinsic set of neurons. Okay, see here, coming to the intrinsic set of neurons of the nerves, that we used to call it as a enteric nervous system, ENS. Okay, coming to the extrinsic set of group of neurons, that we used to call it as a autonomous nervous system. Okay, got it? So see here, just don't confuse the neurons or the neural groups, so that will be innervated of the gastrointestinal tract by the two sets of the neurons. So the first one is the intrinsic group and second one is the extrinsic group. Okay, so the intrinsic group we used to call it as a enteric nervous system, ENS. Okay, enteric nervous system. Coming to the extrinsic set of neurons, we used to call it as a autonomic nervous system. Okay, clear about it? Let's see one by one. So what we have seen the first one is the intrinsic set of nerves, that we used to call it as a enteric nervous system. Okay, see here, the enteric nervous system, we are going to discuss the intrinsic set of group of neurons. So under the intrinsic set of neurons, so the first one is the enteric nervous system. So here, see, the enteric nervous system means especially this GI tract was innervated by the central nervous system. Okay, see here, central nervous system, mainly the GI tract will be innervated by the sensory neurons. Okay, so see here, the sensory neurons that will be having the interrelated, like having the correlated with the interneurons. So the sensory neurons will be producing the reflexes and program library and information processing. So see here, the interneurons, the sensory neurons will be producing the reflexes, program library and information processing to the particular central nervous system. So these will be run by the central nervous nervous system. Means these reflexes and the program library and the information processing will be like it is processing, means leading towards the brain, means by the proper nervous system only these type of the interneurons, sensory neurons will be run. Okay, so see here, coming to here, motor neurons. See, the motor neurons is properly it helps in the muscle, means like effector systems. Okay, and also these motor neurons will be secretory in the epithelium. Okay, so this will be having the secretory epithelium and also the blood vessels. Okay, see here, coming to the central nervous system, there are the two types of the neurons will be functioning out in the central nervous system. So the enteric nervous system is also a central nervous system. Okay, so here the enteric nervous system will be run by the two types of the neurons. First one is the sensory neurons and the second one is the motor neurons. So the sensory neurons will be it will be having the interneurons with the it produces the reflexes, program library, and also it processes the information towards the brain. Okay, then coming to the motor neurons, so it will be these motor neurons process will be in the muscle matter and secretory epithelium, and also it will be having in the processing in the manner of blood vessels. Okay, and coming to the motor neurons, see the such kind of the gut behavior will be also shown by the motor neurons. So the gut behavior means motility pattern, secretory pattern or the circulatory pattern will be run by the motor neurons. So here circulatory pattern, how it is going to be run by the motor neurons means already the motor neurons will be having the connection towards the blood vessels. Okay, see here, by the blood vessels there is a circulatory pattern of the central nervous system. See here, this is the overall enteric nervous system. Let's see the enteric nervous system. The first name for the enteric nervous system we can able to give that it as a brain of the gut. Okay, BRAIN, brain of the gut. Okay, see here, already after the motor neurons, after the muscle function, secretory epithelium, blood vessels, see here gut behavior means the gut behavior means that will be coming like a motility pattern or in the secretory pattern or in the circulatory pattern. Okay, so that we used to call it as a brain of the gut. See here, these enteric nervous system. Okay, enteric nervous system will be consist of about 100 millions of neurons. How many millions of the neurons will be we can able to find in the enteric nervous system? 100 millions of the neurons will be found. We used to found in the enteric nervous system. These 100 millions of the neurons that will be extend from the esophagus to the anus. Okay, 100 millions of the neurons we used to found in the enteric nervous system. These 100 millions of the neurons, so that will be extending from the esophagus to the anus. Okay, so the neurons of these enteric nervous system will be arranging in a particular type of the two types of the plexus. Okay, see whatever the set of neurons or the group of neurons that should be arranged in a type of a like set or the group or type like a bunch, it should be arranged. Coming to here, in the enteric nervous system it was arranged in the two types of the plexus. Okay, the first plexus is the myenteric plexus, and the second one is the submucosal plexus. Yesterday we have seen the myenteric plexus while we are dealing with the layers of the GI tract. Okay, we can able to see in the next slide also. Okay, see here the myenteric plexus and the submucosal plexus. Myenteric plexus means we know that the meaning of the myo is the muscles. Okay, what is the meaning of the myo? The meaning of the myo is the muscles, and so we used to call it as a muscle or the plexus of Auerbach. Okay, see here, plexus of Auerbach. myometric plexus, we used to call it a myenteric plexus, we used to call it as a, mainly this type of the neurons will be especially run in the or process or the functioning in the muscles, or we used to call it as a plexus of Auerbach. Means see here, muscle, the motor neurons where it is effector system will be showing, the effector system will be showing processing on the muscle. Okay, this type of the enteric nervous system, mainly it is located between the longitudinal and the also the circular smooth muscle layer of the muscularis. We have seen the myenteric muscles. Okay, see here, the myenteric muscles or the myenteric plexus. See where the myenteric plexus is located. It is located between the longitudinal and also the circular smooth muscle of the muscularis. See here, it will be located between the longitudinal and the circular smooth muscles of the muscularis. So here the submucosal plexus also will be present. Means submucosal plexus. See here, plexus of Meissner. Okay, so here these submucosal plexus of Meissner that will be found within the submucosa. Where it is going to be found, ma? It is going to be found in the submucosa. See here, this is the submucosa. From the submucosa only we can able to visualize the submucosal plexus. Okay, so these two plexus, submucosal plexus and the myenteric plexus of enteric nervous system, it consisting of the like three types of the neurons. Okay, so three types of the neurons will be consisted by the submucosal plexus and the myenteric plexus. What all are those three plexus? Let's see. So the first one is the motor neurons. First one is the motor neurons, and the second one is the interneurons, and third one is the sensory neurons. Okay, see, enteric nervous system will be run by them, it consisting of 100 millions of the neurons, and it take the neurons, 100 millions of the neurons will be extending to the esophagus to the anus, and there are the two plexus. The first plexus is the myenteric plexus and second one is the submucosal plexus. Submucosal plexus we used to call it as a plexus of Meissner, and the myenteric plexus we used to call it as a plexus of Auerbach. Okay, see here, these two plexus were mainly like it consisting of the three types of the neurons. First one is the motor neurons, second one is the interneurons, and third one is the sensory neurons. So here, because of the motor neurons, so the myenteric plexus, because of the motor neurons, the myenteric plexus will be supplying the longitudinal and also circular smooth muscle layers of the muscularis. Means these plexus mostly control GI tract motility. Means movement. These myenteric plexus will be controlling the movement of the GI tract, particularly like the frequency and the strength of the contraction of the muscularis also it can able to control by the myenteric plexus. Okay, and see here the motor neurons. See, we have seen the motor neurons of the submucosal plexus. Myenteric plexus of the motor neurons will be controlling the motility, GI tract motility. The motor neurons of the submucosal will be like supplying the secretory cells of the mucosal epithelium. Means it will be controlling the like secretions of the organs of the GI tract. Means see, we have finished the motor neurons. Coming to the interneurons. Okay, the interneurons of the overall enteric nervous system. So here the enteric nervous system of the motor neurons, so that will be having the interconnect the neurons of the so there is a interconnection between the neurons. So where the interconnection of the neurons, there will be the interconnection of the myenteric and also the submucosal plexus. This is the interneurons. Then coming to the sensory neurons. So here the sensory neurons of the ENS, enteric nervous system, so that will be supplying the mucosal epithelium. Okay, see here what it is supplying, it is supplying the mucosal epithelium. Okay, see the mucosal epithelium will be supplied by the sensory neurons of the enteric nervous system, and some of the sensory neurons functions like the chemoreceptors. Okay, so because these why it is acting as a chemoreceptors means some of these chemoreceptors are activated by the like particular certain presence of the chemicals in the food. So sometimes if there is a presence of the chemicals in the food, automatically the food is located in the lumen of the GI organ. Then other sensory neuron function like stretching of the receptors. So here functioning of the chemoreceptors and stretching of the receptors means, so how the receptors will be stretched, like receptors that are activated when food distance, like when the food distance means stretches. Okay, so when the food is going to stretch the wall of the GI organ, then automatically the other sensory neuron function will be having the stretching of the receptors in the enteric nervous system. Got it? So see here, this is the overall innervation of the enteric nervous system in the GI tract. Okay, this slide also shows you that enteric nervous system. See here, enteric nervous system, emotional states or the hunger, either whatever the status, it will be in or hunger. Also, that leads to the central nervous system only. Okay, like a sight or the smell or any type of the taste or the food. See here, we can able to see the neurons. See, we have discussed the sensory neurons, interneurons and the motor neurons. So here in this slide we are going to see the afferent neurons and the efferent autonomic neurons. Okay, see here in the afferent neurons, there is a chemoreceptors, osmoreceptors and also the mechanoreceptors. Okay, see here, the chemoreceptors and the mechanoreceptors that will be leading to the nerve plexus. Okay, so by the nerve plexus it will be having the smooth muscle or the gland. So by that it shows the response and the stimulation of the gastrointestinal lumen. So here why we need the stimulus and the response of the gastrointestinal lumen, because there is a presence of the stretched receptors. Okay, we have seen either the chemoreceptors or the mechanoreceptors or the osmoreceptors. So but it has been stretched, so by that we can able to, by the short reflex we can able to observe the stimulus and the response of the smooth muscle or the gland. So with the help of the smooth muscle or the gland we can able to observe the stretching of the particular stimulus or the response of the gastrointestinal lumen. So see here, the enteric nervous system completely it coordinates, and also it helps in the digestion. Especially it is the enteric nervous system will be useful for the coordinating of the digestion, secretion and motility movement. So it gives the movement to the GI tract. Why it gives the movement? Especially for the optimizing the nutrient absorption. Okay, and also its activity is modified by the information from the CNS and also from the local and the chemical or the mechanical sensors will be modified by the information of the central nervous system. So this is the a schematic presentation how the central nervous system, how the efferent neurons, long reflexes and the efferent neurons, how the short reflexes will be showing the effect of the gastrointestinal lumen. We can able to see in this slide. Okay, so this is the first neural innervation of the GI tract, that is enteric nervous system. Okay, coming to here, the second neural innervation of the GI tract is the autonomic nervous system. Okay, see here the autonomic nervous system, mainly in the autonomic nervous system there is a extrinsic set of nerves. Okay, so there is a neurons of the enteric nervous system will be also presenting in the autonomic nervous system. So here these autonomic nervous system can function independently, to regulate by the neurons, especially in the autonomic nervous system we can able to visualize the both the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, see here in the autonomic nervous system the vagus 10th nerve supply will be having the parasympathetic fiber especially. So see here, the vagus nerve will be innervating the upper gastrointestinal tract. Okay, see here with the exception of the last half of the large intestine, which is supplied of the parasympathetic and also the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so here the parasympathetic nerves, So here parasympathetic system will be consisting of acetylcholine. Coming to the sympathetic system of the autonomic nervous system will be consisting of the noradrenaline. Okay, see here the parasympathetic nerves that supply the GI tract from the neural connection with the same, there will be the connection of the enteric nervous system only. But here there are the two types of the nerves will be divided in the autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. So here the both nervous system will be, again it will be related towards the enteric nervous system. Okay, see here the parasympathetic, in the parasympathetic nervous system there will be the presence of preganglionic neurons. So already we have seen that vagus nerve was innervated for the GI tract. So in the parasympathetic nervous system there will be the preganglionic neurons of the vagus or pelvic sphincteric nerves that will be showing the synapse with the parasympathetic like proposed ganglionic neurons. So that will be located in the myenteric and the submucosal plexuses. Okay, so see these some of the parasympathetic prostaglandinic neurons means, so here these parasympathetic neurons will be turning into the synapse with the neurons in the enteric nervous system. Okay, see here we need the general stimulation of the nervous system. See, under the parasympathetic nervous system, the action of the salivary glands, okay, action of the salivary glands, there will be the positive effect in the parasympathetic, the alpha positive. Okay, coming to the action of the gut wall in the parasympathetic nervous system, there is a positive way, but here only there is a negative of the action, that is the gut sphincters in the parasympathetic acetylcholine is the only the gut sphincters that shows only the negative action towards the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, remaining all the pancreas will be having the positive action towards the effects of the parasympathetic nervous system, and rectum will be having the positive defecation. Okay, but the stimulation of the parasympathetic nerves that only innervates the GI tract. If the parasympathetic nerve will be innervating the GI tract, automatically that causes an increase in the GI secretion. Means by that increases of the secretions of the GI tract and motility, it also increases the enteric nervous system neurons in the parasympathetic action. So due to the all the positive nature, so it will be increasing the motility nature and it will be also increasing the secretions. By that, so by the increasing of the motility and the secretions, automatically the enteric nervous system also will be shows the positive and the increases towards the action of the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, this is the first nervous system comes under the autonomic nervous system. Coming to the second type of the nervous system, that is the sympathetic nervous system. Here the sympathetic nervous system means under the sympathetic nervous system, the nerves which supply the GI tract that will be arising from the thoracic and upper lumbar regions of the spinal cord. Okay, got it? So where the sympathetic nerves were arising, thoracic and also the upper lumbar region of the spinal cord. Okay, so same like parasympathetic nerves, so here also these sympathetic nerves from the neural connection with the enteric nervous system will be taken place. Okay, same the sympathetic prostaglandinic neurons synapse with the neurons also located in the myenteric plexus and also the submucosal plexus. But coming to the generally, if we discuss regarding the sympathetic nervous system of innervation of the GI tract, the sympathetic nerves that supply the GI tract and also it causes the decreases in the GI secretions. Okay, and motility by inhibiting the neurons of the enteric nervous system. So in this we used to observe the sympathetic nervous system, the emotions of the human being means like anger or the fear or any type of the anxiety, so that will be slowing the digestion because they only stimulate the sympathetic nerves that only supply to the GI tract. See here Same, it is similar to the parasympathetic and it is similar to the sympathetic. But so here there is a having the emotions instability. Why the emotion instability means like there is a GI secretions were decreased. Okay, and there is a nerve supply was also some such kind of the decrease. So by that there is a emotional imbalance in the sympathetic nervous system. So same myoenteric plexus and the submucosal plexus will be takes place by the enteric nervous system. See here the effects of the action of the sympathetic noradrenaline in the nervous system, that is see beta positive. So the salivary gland action of the salivary gland shows the it shows the positive. Okay, then coming to the gut blood vessels also shows the alpha positive and the beta negative. Okay, then gut wall sphincter shows that alpha positive and the beta negative. There will be the like due to the such kind of the instability, means like such kind of the fluctuations. Okay, then adrenal medulla will be the complete positive secretions of the adrenaline gland. Okay, see here this is the autonomic nervous system. We can able to see the next slides also, difference between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Okay, here we can able to see the functions of the autonomic nervous system. Okay, there are the two types of the functions same like parasympathetic and the sympathetic. So under the sympathetic the heart rate is increases, there is a increasing of the heart rate and there is a increasing the force of the contraction of the heart. Coming to the blood vessels, so the completely in the sympathetic nervous system there is a constriction of the blood vessels we can able to observe. Okay, then in the lungs we can able to see the bronchodilation. Okay, a GI gastrointestinal tract we have seen decreases the motility rate completely. Okay, and also the sphincter contraction will be seen, decreases secretions. Okay, this all we have seen in the previous slide also. Okay, see here coming to the parasympathetic nervous system, the heart rate it decreases and also the decreasing of the force of contraction. Okay, then blood vessels also completely there is no effect, means there is no contraction or the restriction of the blood vessels normal in a manner. And coming to the lungs, there is a under the sympathetic nervous system the lungs will be having the bronchodilation. Coming to parasympathetic, here the lungs will be having the bronchoconstriction in the lungs. Gastrointestinal tract there is an increased motility rate and also the sphincter relaxation takes place and there is a increase in lots of secretions from the gastrointestinal tract. Okay, this is the difference between the sympathetic nervous system and also the parasympathetic nervous system. See here, this is the sympathetic innervation. Just this picture shows you that sympathetic innervation, medulla oblongata and thoracolumbar region. Okay, T5 and the L5, L2. Okay, see here the superior cervical ganglion will be present over there and the 1, 2, 3. So here the 1, 2, 3 shows that it is a celiac and means there is a prevertebral sympathetic ganglia will be present over the. Okay, so first one is the celiac and second one is the superior mesenteric and third one is the inferior mesenteric. Okay, see by these superior cervical ganglion the sympathetic innervation of the GI tract will be passed by the parasympathetic innervation. Okay, so this is the parasympathetic innervation. Here in the parasympathetic innervation there is a motility in the esophagus, stomach, small intestine. See there is a organs of the GI tract. See alpha positive rate will be shown by the sacral spinal cord S2, S3 and the S4. So by the pelvic nerves also it shows the particular positive towards the positive action effect of the stomach, small intestine, colon. Okay, and esophagus. So there is an increased rate of the motility. Okay, next topic is gastrointestinal reflex. Okay, see here the continuation topic of the GI innervation or neural innervation of the GI tract. So the gastrointestinal reflex, we have to see the gastrointestinal reflex. Here many neurons of the enteric nervous system that will be having the components of the GI tract, means reflex pathways will be shown by the GI tract, means by the reflex pathways only it will be regulating the GI secretions, and also it will be increasing in the motility areas. So here why there is a motility in the responsive means two stimuli present in the lumen of the GI tract, means the initial compartments or the components of the typical GI tract or the GI reflex pathways. It shows the sensory receptors, okay, like chemoreceptors or the stretch receptors or the osmoreceptors. Means why these receptors are showing means, so this is having the communication between the central nervous system. So see here the reflexes will be having from the central nervous system. There is a splanchnic and the vagal afferents. Okay, by the splanchnic and the vagal afferents, so there is a chemoreceptors, mechanoreceptors in the gut wall. Okay, coming to here the parasympathetic and the sympathetic afferents, so that will be leading to the myenteric plexus and the submucosal plexus. From the myenteric plexus and the submucosal plexus it will be like local afferents and the local efferents. So here see same afferent and the efferent, but there is a same plexus will be present. Coming to here, under the local efferent, gut wall muscles and the endocrine cells will be secreted, and the secretory cells will be present and or comes under the local efferents. Coming to the local efferents, chemoreceptors and the mechanoreceptors, and also these two receptors will be present over the gut wall, means the axons of these sensory neurons that can synapse with the other neurons which is located in the enteric nervous system or the central nervous system or the autonomic nervous system. So by these receptors that will be informing different types of the regions about the nature and the content, like degrees of the distension, means stretching of the GI tract we can able to observe by the receptors. Okay, so the neurons of enteric nervous system, central nervous system or autonomic nervous system, so that will be activating subsequently. Okay, and not only activating the subsequently, and it also inhibiting the GI glands, smooth muscles, and it also altering the GI secretions, and it increases the motility of the gastrointestinal tract. Okay, so this is the gastrointestinal reflex pathway. This is the schematic presentation of the innervation of the GI tract. See here, the same, the schematic presentation will be the very different. Okay, parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. So under the parasympathetic, the vagus nerve will be included. So see here, the vagal nuclei, means sacral spinal cord will be comes under the parasympathetic nervous system, and sympathetic nervous system there is a central nervous system. Okay, so here the in the sympathetic nervous system we have seen the preganglionic fibers. Okay, so in the under the parasympathetic also we have seen the preganglionic fibers also. See here the sympathetic ganglia will be leading to the post-ganglionic fibers, means post-ganglionic fibers means that will be leading to the enteric nervous system. So we know that under the enteric nervous system there are the two plexus will be present over the enteric nervous system, myenteric plexus and the submucosal plexus. Coming to the sympathetic ganglia, there will be the post-ganglionic fibers will be present. So here the post-ganglionic fibers that leads to the blood vessels. Okay, see here the enteric nervous system will be passed by the two plexus, that is the myenteric plexus and the submucosal plexus. By these two plexus it will be leading to the smooth muscle, secretory cells, endocrine cells and the blood vessels. Okay, so this is the general schematic presentation of the innervation of the GI tract. Okay, see here we have seen this slide, autonomic nervous system. Okay, see here the innervation of the GI tract, intrinsic nerve plexus, means the location like submucosa, mesentery plexus. Okay, in the submucosa where the enteric nervous system will be located in the submucosa, means submucosal or the mesenterous plexus, and that will be having between the circular and the longitudinal muscle layers like myenteric or the Airbags plexus. we have seen starting itself. Okay, then what is the control, how the enteric nervous system will be controlled by the motility, means how it is getting the motility only by the plexus, that is the myenteric plexus. So here by the myenteric plexus there are the two types, excretory substances and the inhibitory, excretory substances and the inhibitory. So here what are the excretory substances, acetylcholine and the substance P. Then inhibitory substances like VIP means vasoactive intestinal polypeptide hormone. So here vasoactive intestinal polypeptide, that is an 28 amino acid polypeptide, means these VIP is secreted by the cells throughout the completely GI tract. Mainly these VIP will be stimulates the secretion of the electrolytes and water by the intestinal mucosa. Okay, then secretions of the mucosal plexus, that is the excretory only the acetylcholine. And so how these will be run through the releasing of the neurotransmitters only, these type of the secretions will be run by the enteric nerve plexus, means enteric nervous system. Okay, so here contraction of the GI smooth muscle, how it is going to be contracted by the smooth muscle. See here, out and the in means the calcium ions will be run, calcium due to the presence of the calmodulin and the calcium ions, there will be the contraction of the GI smooth muscle. See the presence of the calcium only, there will be the activation of the contraction, that will be depending upon the influx of the calcium from the extracellular space. Only these type of the extracellular space through the presence of calcium channels. So here the calcium negative calmodulin complex, so that will be activating the myosin light chain kinase, means by these calmodulin there is a contraction explained by the like a sliding filament theory, means there is a inactive myosin light chain kinase. So either if there is a presence of the inactive myosin light chain kinase, that will be leading to the active myosin light chain kinase, means if there is a presence of active myosin light chain kinase, automatically there will be the myosin phosphorus 4, means if there is a presence of the myosin phosphorus 4, automatically there is a muscle contraction in the GI tract. Only which type of the muscle, the smooth muscle contraction will be takes place over the gastrointestinal tract. Okay, see here slow waves in the GI smooth muscle. So what are the waves will be present in the GI smooth muscle? Here the smooth muscle only will be having the contracting of the muscle, contracting the GI tract. So see here the slow waves or changes in resting membranes potential. Okay, it should be takes a resting membranes potential, and the slow wave cycle will be the 3 to 12 cycles per minute depending upon the area of the GI tract, means either it will be if it takes place in the stomach or if it takes place in the large intestine. So according to the depending upon the area of the GI tract, so automatically it takes the time, but the normal cycle of the slow wave in the GI smooth muscle is the 3 to 12 cycles, but 3 minutes will be taking in the stomach and the 12 minutes will be taking in the small intestine. Okay, then it always present but do not always cause contractions, and frequency of contractions will be dictated by frequency of slow waves. So according to the slow wave, how the frequency of the slow wave will be present, then automatically that will be related to the frequency of the contractions. Okay, see here the slow wave frequency will be highly modulated by the height, modulated by three types of the modules. First one is the body temperature and the metabolic activity, and intrinsic and the extrinsic nerves and circulating hormones. By these three types of the modulations only we can able to see the frequency of the slow wave frequency and the height. Okay, then functions of the GI hormones. See here, GI hormones, we know that functions, main functions, it regulates and the secretion of the motility, means improving the movement of the GI tract, gastrin. So if there is a improving in the gastrin, automatically there is a HCl secretion and also the gastric empty will be present. Then second function is the trophic action. So here the trophic action will be releasing the gastrin hormone. So the gastrin hormone will be present over the stomach and also the duodenum mucosa. Okay. Then third function of the GI hormone is automatically it regulates the releasing of the other hormones, means GIP. So here the GIP means gastrointestinal polypeptide. Gastrointestinal polypeptide hormone. Okay, and SS means somatostatin. So these the releasing of the hormones means gastrointestinal polypeptide will be releasing the insulin, and somatostatin will be releasing the growth hormone or the gastric hormone. Okay, so along with the gastric hormone, it is also releasing the gastrin. Okay, got it? See here, just central nervous system, how the gastrointestinal will be takes place by the process innervation of the central nervous system. So by the dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus and the medulla oblongata, splenic nerves, prevertebral ganglia, celiac, superior mesenteric, cranial nerves. See here by the parasympathetic division and the sympathetic division, how the vertebrae, thoracic, lumbar, cervical, coccyx, sacrum. So how it going to takes place, how it is going to take the innervation of the GI tract, this picture may shows you. Okay, see here the enteric division. Okay. So there is a presence of the superior mesenteric and the inferior mesenteric and the large intestine, pelvic nerve, sacral. So see here how the central nervous system will be innervating the GI tract. We can able to see in this. This is the organization of the enteric nervous system. In the starting itself, we have discussed regarding the enteric nervous system. Same brain of the gut, myenteric plexus, submucosal plexus, sensory neurons, motor neurons, interneurons, myenteric GI motility will be present or will be coming under the enteric nervous system. And motor neurons, submucosal plexus, sensory neurons, interneurons, how these organization of the enteric nervous system will be innervating of the GI tract. Already we have discussed starting itself, just it shows the organization, how it is organized. Okay, then see here the organization of the enteric nervous system, myenteric plexus, submucosal plexus. Two plexus will be coming under. See here the motor neurons, sensory neurons. See here longitudinal and the circular smooth and the muscle layers of the muscularis. Mucosal epithelium will becomes. So by that two N is autonomic nervous system. Central neurons will be followed by the enteric nervous system. Okay, so this is the organization of the overall enteric nervous system. Got it? So what we have seen, we have seen today that neural innervation of the gastrointestinal tract. So majorly we have discussed regarding the two types of the innervations. Okay, enteric nervous system and also the autonomic nervous system we have seen. Okay, see enteric nervous system, sympathetic innervation we have seen, parasympathetic innervation we have seen, and also the difference between the gastro sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system and gastrointestinal reflex pathway. Okay, according to the enteric nervous system, according to the what sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system plexus we have seen, followed by that reflexes. Okay, same preganglionic fibers, autonomic nervous system, see intrinsic enteric nervous system we have seen. Okay, if you like my channel, please like, do share and subscribe for more updates. Okay, if you have been missed the previous class, I am going to put the previous class link in the description box. If you go to the description box, you can able to find the link of the previous class. So if you listen to the previous class only, then and there you can able to understand today's class. Okay, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you, everyone.